This week's episode of the Good Dude, Good Dad podcast is brought to you by BioPro. Use the link down below plus code GDGD upon checkout, along with Hidden House Coffee. Go to hiddenhousecoffee.com and use code GDGD on your checkout to receive a discount. Now, enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Good Dude, Good Dad podcast. I'm Jordan.
And I am Ben.
As always, and it is the two of us.
It's the two of us.
Mano y mano.
Jordan is almost fully done with his transitional leaving me behind and moving on to
not even
things.
I've just started. I've just started.
Well, I know, but done with like your first class.
Yes.
Reclass.
Renewing my license.
And I asked Jordan if he would talk about it because we talked about it before he went in. But I have so many different questions about it for you. And I feel like it could be beneficial for people that are in that season or on the fence of like career changing or, you know, you might have done something when you were in your early 20s.
Right.
And now you're like second guessing yourself. You're like mid 30s. You're like, I got a family. Should I do this? Should I not do this? Like, can I do this? Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of value in what you're going through currently that could potentially help somebody.
I hope so. I think there is. I mean, I learned a lot about myself over the last month, which just sounds kind of funny to say, but being the old dude in the class, being called Unc, while I was there, it was funny. On the last day we took our tests, and we were like all planning on going like to go grab a beer or something.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, you guys, let's go grab a beer. Except for anyone that called me Unc because you're clearly under 21. But it was good. I mean, like I said, I learned a lot about myself. It actually went a lot better than I thought it was going to, a lot different than I thought it was going to. And it actually made me very excited for the upcoming steps. So,
yeah. Well, let's talk through that. Is like you went through this how long ago?
When I originally did, so I held my paramedic. I finished paramedic school and I left doing this industry.
Yeah.
I had to go all the way back to doing my EMT. I did my EMT back in 2010.
So 15 years ago.
I was 19 years old.
And so 15 years ago, you're 19. Let's kind of go through like when you're...
Yeah, something like that.
Let's just say 18 to 20, 19, whatever. If you're 19 years old, you're young, you're a kid, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't really have anything else going on, no responsibilities in life. Some 19-year-olds do.
Yeah.
But in your particular case, you had no kids, you didn't have a wife. You're 19.
Yeah.
You literally have your entire freaking life ahead of you.
Right.
And you go through, you do this thing, which, by the way, I think is insanely wild that EMTs and the ambulance people that we call when there's an emergency are young kids that get paid $18, $19 an hour. Let that sink in if you're listening to this. Like,
yeah, but that's also our military. Like,
for sure.
Like,
but I'm also not responding to a freaking...
That's true.
My mom that I just called 911 for because she had a heart attack.
That's true.
And you get this like 19-year-old kid that's getting paid $19 an hour. Mm-hmm. My baristas make more.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. I'm not saying that as a dig at EMTs. I'm saying that as a dig at how we pay our EMTs.
Right.
Like that's freaking crazy. And I understand they're the base level. Right. Like I understand all of that. But if you're first responding to a situation that potentially could be life or death, mm-hmm. and you're getting someone that's getting paid, Well,
I made more when I was 17, worked at Starbucks.
That's what I'm saying. I don't doubt it. Like the baristas get, let's say you get an average of 18, 19 at one of these ambulance companies, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is, but let's just say it's 18, 19. And then you get a barista that minimum wage is $16.50 mm-hmm. plus an average of $5 to $10 an hour in tips. Mm-hmm. Like 27, let's just say $26, $27 an hour mm-hmm. as a barista to make coffee. You show up as an EMT, crash site, blood everywhere. You're responding, trying to save a life, and you're getting paid $18. Mm. Like that's insane to me.
It is.
I don't know how we fix it because obviously these ambulance companies just want to make money. It's like a double-edged thing.
Yeah, it is ambulance companies. It's weird being back. And what it used to be, and it started changing when I left, is there was a bunch of privately owned companies, like little mom and pop companies.
Like doctors and stuff.
Stuff like that. They had unwritten agreements with other ambulance companies that were also run the same way, that, hey, like, this is our area. We want it. We won't bid for your area. You don't bid for our area. It's a mutual respect. And then we've now had these massive corporations. One is actually European based, come over, and they just go, well, we want a foothold in, so we'll just undercut everyone by a crazy amount of cash. We'll provide the service, and then we have our foothold. And my guess is that, 10 plus years, once they have the foothold that they want, they'll raise their prices and charge the counties more. But all these little mom and pop shops are closing up. Like, they're gone. Like, there's one left, but they really don't do any 911 calls anymore. It's all IFTs, interfacility transports, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy.
It's weird. It's a weird. The industry has changed a lot since I left, but it's also somehow very much the same.
Yeah, and I want to get into that stuff too, but to go on my rant still is like, a lot of people don't know this. Like, Josh and I, we owned a non-medical home care company, right? We're caregivers. I don't mean that certain people actually genuinely need a caregiver. Certain people, their families just wanted them to have a babysitter, basically, an adult sitter.
Right.
And back then, dude, this was years ago, 2018, 19 is when Josh and I had it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Our caregivers were getting paid more than you guys as EMTs.
Yeah.
They have zero they had to take a class and a test. I had to take it to be like the owner, right?
Right.
I don't know caregiving.
Yeah.
But it was literally like basics, right?
Right.
And you get these guys that are in a nice home or one of those really bougie assisted living facilities, and they're getting paid $23 an hour back then. It's to adult sit somebody. Yes, they have to help them go to the bathroom sometimes, or like change their clothes. That's it though. Since it's non-medical, they couldn't touch medication. They couldn't clip nails. And then you have an EMT, again, who's going to show up to the crash site right outside this building, that just happened, and expect them to respond in a way when they're getting paid like $19 an hour. Granted, it's a stepping stone for most of them, right? You're doing it to take that step.
Right.
So I'm not knocking that stuff. I'm just knocking at how we choose to pay certain things.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I don't think it's right. I feel like our everything that has to do with our medical system here in the United States is just like freaking backwards. Like it's crazy to me. There should be way more experience in the people that are showing up as your first responders than a 19-year-old kid fresh out of EMT school that, they passed the test, but they've never done anything.
Right.
And you're expected to make potentially life-altering decisions when you're only getting paid $18. Not that money's everything, but, do you think that kid's thinking about only saving that life? I would hope so. But they're also probably thinking about, I got to go to my other job after I get off this. Like, what am I going to do? All that to say is I just think it's freaking crazy.
Part of it, I think, too, is that the EMS system has shot itself in the foot, because instead of taking care of their own, nurses, firefighters, paramedics, all that kind of stuff, everyone, because it's become such a basic entry level job here that everyone treats them for the most part that way. Now, I'm not saying like across the board, there's a lot of guys that, take these kids under their wings and, help them be better and like, hey, what's your next step? All this kind of stuff. But it's like they get treated like a $19 an hour person would get treated. So like it which is actually like kind of sad, because it's like, you guys, like, even fire, like, eventually I hope to get picked up by a department. I want to treat these kids different, because to be honest, 90% of the time, 75% of the time, you're showing up as the fire, right? Paramedic. You're doing your assessment and it's non-life threatening. So you hand them off to the EMT to take them to the hospital. They're doing, like, honestly, the grunt work. And it's like, then those guys just pack up, take off, and they don't have to do any of that. So it's, I don't know. I think that the whole system's broken from the inside all the way out, which is sad.
It's super sad, man. And I think also when you're younger, which is the stuff I want to get into, is like, you don't really think about it. It's a job. No. You're doing something cool that, you're not again, no disrespect. You're not working at McDonald's, flipping a burger. You're helping change lives, and using it as that stepping stone to keep progressing in whatever it is that you're choosing. But When you're younger, you just, most of the time you just like kind of figure, at least when we were younger, for myself, you just figure it out. Right. I was also 19 in a combat zone having to make life altering choices, so it is that thing where, you're just doing it. But all that to say is like I just am so frustrated, just like so many other people with our medical system here as a whole. Like now that I'm older now and I understand things more, I have kids now, and just even like the thing with my daughter's broken arm, I'm still battling the insurance company to pay it. And then who gets screwed over? It's us, because I get collection calls now and I'm like, dude, I'm not paying that bill. It's just why we have this insurance. Like, I don't care if they messed up a document. Why don't you guys hash it out?
Yeah.
And anyways, how was it now, 15 years later? You're a lot older. You have worldly experience. You're a husband. You're a father. How was the experience this time versus, 19, no sense of responsibility, no kids, right? All the time in the world. You're 19 and you can conquer everything. Sleep's no issue. Your body just will rebound. You can pull all-nighters. You could slam a monster and be fine. Versus fast forward now, you're 35. Your body's obviously not the same. You got 3 kids at home. You got a wife at home. You got real world happening, life bills. Like, you have all these things. Like, let's kind of dissect the then versus now, because I think that bridge and what you're going through now is what can help somebody.
Yeah. It was cool. And like, it was not only helpful for me, I think it was actually helpful for the kids in the class. Because I mean, I'm me, right?
Yeah.
So I talked, I was like, yo, I got kids. Everyone quickly figured out, one, that I was like, I had a family and like a real life, outside of this. Nobody could believe I was almost 35, which was pretty funny. Although I was by far the oldest in the room. Actually, not by far. There was a guy that was 32, but he was not married, had no kids.
So still a different life stage.
Still completely
You're
different
the only
life.
one in your life stage.
I was the only one in my life stage. There was one other person that she had one son, and she lasted for less than a week, and then because we did it in a bridge class, so it was the entire, which usually is a full semester of school.
Yeah.
We did it in 1 month.
Yeah.
So and this school is notorious for being very difficult. They flaunt the fact that their attrition rate is very high. Like, we were one of the larger graduating classes. We started with 55 and we ended with 38 at the end of the 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And we lost some people on the last day. Like, you had to maintain an 80 throughout the entire class to take the final exam. Final exam was pass fail, and then if you failed, you had to redo the whole course. Ooh. So we had people that had to do a retake to make the 80, but then they passed the final and were good. We had people that did not have to do any retakes, but failed the final and now have to retake the 5 weeks. Dang. Which is gnarly.
Yeah.
I felt really bad for them. But it was when I was 19, when I was going through this, I didn't really know why I was doing it. So like when I was 19, long story short, basically there's a guy that tried to commit suicide by lighting himself on fire. Me and my dad saved him. While we were waiting once he was out, like he was done, we put him out.
Yeah.
We were just standing around, and I was pissed off that I was standing, not doing anything. Looking back at it now, there was nothing I could have done anyway. Yeah. But at the time, I was standing around like pacing, pissed off that I couldn't help this guy further, and I didn't know what to do. Yeah. Which made me mad. Which made me take. I mean, granted, at the time, a lot of my friends were either were firefighters or going that route. All of like the older siblings or like the older cousins and stuff. So it just was like, okay, I'm gonna go take EMT because I don't know what I'm gonna do. Mm-hmm. I don't know what I want to do. At that time, I was still wanting to go into the military, and it was just this weird. I had no idea what to do with my life, so I took EMT, and I just took it. Like, I didn't really like. I've always been pretty good at school. Yeah. Like when I want to be, like I could be really bad if I'm just like complete. But if I give it like even a half effort, I could pass stuff. So I basically just half efforted it and passed, Mm-hmm. And then even then I didn't jump on an ambulance right away. I didn't even take my, did I take my, I forget. There's something I didn't do right away. I either took my national right away and then didn't apply for my state license or something along those lines. And basically I was about to expire out when I decided to get all my licenses together and go work on an ambulance. So I was actually 2 years removed from the class when I first worked on an ambulance, which wasn't the best idea, but you know, I had some help. But this time it was different. Like I went through and like this was something I wanted to do. So and something that I'd done before. So I paid attention, which was like something I haven't really done in a while. Like trying to get back into school mode and like figure out, all right, how do I take notes? How do I like to take notes again? Like, and not only that, like between 19 and 35, like the way you comprehend things is different.
Drastic.
So I'm like, okay, well, at first I started taking notes like I did when I was in college.
Yeah.
And I was like, this isn't working. Like, and so I had to figure out a way for me that made sense. Not only that, like I finished the end of the day. We finish at 6. We finished at like 5. I would get home by 6 because of traffic.
Yeah.
I get home at 6. I have to help make dinner. And then my kids haven't seen me all day because I was going to the gym at 4 a.m. and then getting home at 6.
Yeah.
So going to the gym, then going to school, and then coming home. I'm making them dinner. They want to play, you know, and I'm not going to not play with my kids for an entire month. So I play for my kids until like 7:30 or 8. Like this whole, and it's funny because when I was in school, it was like the 1 month my kids decided not to go to bed when they were supposed to.
Yeah.
They all wanted to stay up later. So it's like
8:30.
Yeah, like 8:39, we're putting them to bed. You know, I'm putting them to bed. I'm studying for maybe a half an hour to 45 minutes. Like, cause I still have to shower. I got to put together lunch. I got to get my gym clothes ready. We had to wear a uniform. I had to get my uniform ready. I had to put everything in my car. I had to make sure I was clean shaven other than my mustache. Like I had to do all these things. And by the time that cuts in a half an hour. I'd have a half an hour of studying. I was in bed by 10, so I could be up at 4 to go do it all over again. And so, it was funny hearing these kids. They were like, yeah, they finished school. They're like, yeah, I think I'm going to go to the gym for like an hour and then study until midnight and then wake up like 30 minutes before class, drive here, and I'll be here. And I'm like, yo, I can't do that, you know? So it was interesting. It was a lot of work. You know, I was actually I told the guys at the end of the class, I literally told everybody, because everyone kind of like, over time, they kind of figure out we kind of get to know each other. Everyone finds out each other's backgrounds. They all found out that I had gone through paramedic school at one point. So a lot of people like look to me for like, hey, what is EMS really like? What is an ambulance really like? And, you know, you have people coming in to do skills stuff, but most of them are like younger students that are, or they're older guys that have been on an ambulance like their entire life.
Yeah.
And that's all they do. You know, they have no desire to move up. So they're weird and they're salty and they think they're awesome because
they've been doing it forever.
They're like, I'm an EMT god. I'm like, yo, bro, like part of me goes like, yo, this is entry level stuff. Like you're not like a, you know, pararescue, you know, combat tour medic.
Yeah.
You're a medically licensed chauffeur, you know? Yeah. Especially some of those jobs. That's pretty much what you are. So, they'll, you know, we're kind of like looking up to me for some stuff. And I told them all at then, I was like, hey guys, like, I just want to say that I'm really proud of all of you because like that was like, this is gonna be a big dad moment for me. Like, I'm super proud of all you guys because I've gone through all this before. Granted, it's been 10 years since my last like actual like, 8 years since my last actual like medical class.
Yeah.
I was like, 8 years, you guys are doing this all for the first time in 5 weeks, you know, 4.5, 5 weeks. All learning this stuff brand new. Like, cool, you did anatomy and physiology or you did, you know, pre-med.
Yeah.
But like you haven't done emergency medicine. So you guys are doing all this in 5 weeks. I was like, I'm super proud of all of you because this is no joke. Like I found it challenging.
Well, yeah. Dude.
So I was like, I'm stoked for all you guys that you were here. So it was cool. It was cool being the old guy, being able to like encourage people and like love on them. Like one kid had failed towards the end, and like he had already had like a kind of a job lined up for a fire department, and he needs to have this done within the next 6 months. So he's gonna go through it again. But I pulled him aside. I was like, hey, dude, like, you know, you've heard by this point, like I've owned businesses before, and I left, you know, all this. I was like, I've failed so many times, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, but you know, as long as you're learning something from this, and now you're taking this knowledge into the next time, you're gonna be fine. Like just one day you'll look back on all this, it's gonna be okay. This is not the end of the world. Like you got this. I was able to just kind of give him a little pep talk. I actually walked with him out to his car during class. Like I just left class and walked with him all the way out to his car. Loved on him a bunch. Sent him in his car and was like, "Hey, dude, if you need anything, here, you know my phone number. Just give me a call."
Yeah.
So it's cool to be able to be that for a group of younger individuals that are going through this.
Yeah. Well, dude, what was it like mentally for you to be able to go through that at this stage with everything you got going on?
Honestly, like part of me it's embarrassing. Part of me feels like I failed. Part of me feels like excited. Part of me feels, I had a weird range of emotions. Like going to class on the first day, I was like, dude, I'm going to be the oldest person. Like I saw the previous class.
Yeah.
It just so happened in that previous class was a lot younger. Like this one, we had like a lot of people that just graduated UCI that wanted to be doctors. So they were like in their mid-20s, So the age gap was still huge, but I'm used to dealing with mid-20s from, working with Hidden House and at Hidden House and Cafe Hermosa and all this different stuff where it's like, okay, I can relate more than like to 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
But we had some kids that were 17, 18, 19, which doesn't seem like a big difference, but like you were saying, that's a
big difference, dude.
Yeah, but we were saying with, who was it that we were saying this? But like the 19 to 22 is such a big life altering gap.
Yeah.
So, yeah, part of it was like embarrassment. Like, why are you here, bro? Why is this old dude here? And it's like, cause I'm deciding to go back, part of me is like kind of embarrassed. It's like, yo, I've been through all this. I went all the way through paramedic, which is like the golden ticket. And I just like messed it up and completely walked away. Like everybody in that industry is like, why would I was talking to Garth.
Yeah.
He was like, bro, are you okay? Like, why, like you had your paramedic and a fire academy. I was like, yeah. He's like, you're an idiot. And I was like, I know. He's like,
coming from Garth.
Yeah. He was like, you're an idiot. Like that's the golden ticket. It was also cool. Like I have a solid group of dudes that I did, like fire academy with, a few buddies I've had since I was kids that are all still in the fire service that were just pumped, that are like, were encouraging me the entire time. That were like, dude, we've been hoping for like, we'd given up. They're like, but we had been hoping for like the first 5 years that you would come back and do this. So they were actually super encouraging. Like, dude, just go out there and be an EMS god to all these kids and just show them, what medic daddy's all about, I don't know, dude. It's been, once it started, I didn't have time to really think about all of the other stuff. I just was like, we're moving at such a rapid pace and, things have changed and there's a lot of things that I don't remember and I have to be a dad and I have to be a husband and I have to figure out bills that I just need to lock in, and I don't have time to like think about it too much. I just have to focus on the task at hand. And so,
yeah,
if that makes sense.
It does. But I think what you're not like fully communicating right now is like the grit you had to have, right? And I think there's the value in that too, is people will imagine wanting something. And maybe they'll even take some steps, right? Like maybe you're listening right now and you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and you're like, dude, I need a switch. I need to move. I need to change. It doesn't have to be a career. It could be in your marriage, as a parent, as in your career, or an athlete, whatever you are. Like, you want to do this switch and this move, but the word grit, and what grit is and what it takes for somebody like what you're going through right now to be able to like embrace and actually use and harness it is a totally different thing. Like, dude, you had to grind it out. You had to be gritty through this last 5 weeks. Like, and I think that's something that is powerful, right? Mm-hmm. Like if you're on the fence of wanting to do something, like, yeah, like making your first step and taking some action and moving forward is great. But if you're not willing to genuinely be gritty, and actually have like the ability to have perseverance through it and push through, even though it might freaking suck, like you're not going to get to where you want, and you're selling yourself short. So for you, dude, like that was a huge component of what you just went through. Like 5 weeks is short in the grand scheme, but when you're in it and you got a family and you got bills and you got all these things going on, and to be able to just like persevere and stick through, like that's what grit is.
Yeah. I think it's just a personal thing that I have. I have a hard time with seeing myself as gritty. I really do.
Yeah.
Um, Other people see it in me. I just don't see it in myself. And
You just did it, dog.
yeah, but like to me, I'm like, I attribute it to that more to being like, I'm mentally insane. Like people are like, dude, that's grit. I'm like, no, I'm a psychopath. That's it. There's a difference.
No,
but I guess there's a little bit. There's kind of
a
ties
little bit in there because not everyone can do it. Not everyone can just freaking like be able to decide to wake up one day and drastically change your life and actually do it.
Yeah.
Like not a lot of people can do it. Yeah, that's where the psychoticness comes in.
Yeah.
But there's also that drive and that push, right?
Yeah.
Like you and I were talking yesterday, I'm in a season right now where I'm like, I got to push.
Yeah.
And I could sit there and cry about my circumstances and feel sorry for myself like I would have maybe done a couple years ago.
Right.
A few years ago, whatever.
Right.
Or I can do what I've chosen to do in these last couple weeks, and like how I unloaded everything on you yesterday.
Yeah.
You were like, wait, what the heck?
Yeah.
You know, the point in saying this stuff is it doesn't matter where you're at. Like if you know you want to move, you actually got to make those steps and you got to put in the work.
Yeah, and I think also part of it is taking a good hard look at, are you being gritty for the sake of being gritty and you're basically just smashing your head against the wall?
Yeah.
Or is there actually something there and you have to push through it?
Yeah.
Like, because I was reaching a point where I was at, where I was like, okay, like, it was the perfect storm of a lot of things. It was people stepping in my life saying like, hey, like, why haven't you gone back to pursue that? Part of it was, yeah, I actually do miss that. And it was something that I was really good at in my life. And it was also a point where like, we were just in a season where we were looking around going like, okay, everything that we expected to happen to take us to the next level that we needed to hit wasn't happening. So at some point you have to like sit there and you have to look around the room and go, okay, am I bashing my head against a wall for the sake of bashing my head against the wall, or is there something there? And I was kind of looking around going like, okay, at this point in time, I feel like I'm kind of bashing my head against the wall for the sake of bashing my head against the wall and being gritty and in that perspective.
Yeah.
Versus like, okay, I have two hard decisions. Pivot, it's going to be difficult and seem crazy, but I can see an outcome. Or keep smashing my head against the wall trying to figure out like something to work, and right now it's just not working. And it might just be because right now it's just not working.
For sure.
It's like, okay, well, right now it's not working, so I have to make something work. And I don't know if this is making any sense at all.
Yeah, I think what you're trying to say, to like kind of sum it up a little bit easier, is there's a difference between being gritty and putting in the hard work for a desired goal and outcome, and then there's a difference between just being stuck in hard work with no desired outcome.
Right.
And I think that's the shift that, you know, some people can make and some people can't make. And there's nothing wrong with hard work. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing every single time and expecting a different result, right? Like it's that same concept when you're applying it to the stage that you're at in your career or your life or wherever you're at.
Right.
So I think there's so many different things, but
sometimes hard work for the sake of hard work isn't a smart idea.
No, it's actually
a very dumb idea.
work.
and it's like a lot of people are like, oh man, that dude is such a hard worker. And it's like, you have to work hard and smart.
Yeah.
Like you can't work smart and not work hard, because you're just gonna skate by and you're not gonna hit it.
Yeah.
You can't work hard without working smart, because you're not gonna go anywhere. You're just gonna be like peeling out in a basically parking lot, you know? Yeah. You have to use the two in tandem.
For sure.
And that's the only way. I think really that's the proper way. I'm not going to say that's the only way.
Yeah. Well, it's the way that could lead to results that can actually change.
Yeah. I was talking to one kid. He's like, yeah, I worked really hard. I'm gone, 12 hours a day and this, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, is there any movement in your company? No. Okay. Is there any potential for movement in your company? No. All right. Is this a transferable skill to somewhere else? No. Okay, then you're just working dumb.
Yeah.
Like you're beating yourself up for nothing.
Just because. Yeah.
Just because. And you think you're doing it for your family, but really you're not. So you gotta pivot.
Yeah. Well, dude, I think you're gritty. I've worked with you and I've known you a long time, so you need to kind of sit there and think about it and let it soak in, or I'll just punch you in the face until you feel it.
Oh man,
I'm just kidding.
We gotta get some punching.
I'm
back.
just kidding,
I miss,
dude. I'm proud of you,
again.
man. I told you this. I think the first episode we did this, and I've told you throughout the process. I couldn't have done what you did. Like I mean, if I was forced to, obviously I could.
Yeah.
But I don't have that ability that you do to kind of just roll with things the way you can and the way you excel in those circumstances. It's a gift, and I know you say, "Oh, it's just how I grew up," but it's a skill that you have honed, because you could pull the opposite and say, "Well, it was just my life. It's what I've had," and then you could freaking feel sorry for yourself.
That's true.
So you have honed this skill that a lot of people don't have, and you need to actually own that, because it's a very, very, very powerful tool. Give one piece of advice to somebody that is stuck, whether it's in their career or their marriage or as a parent, and they know they need to make a drastic change, but they're scared. And then we'll wrap it up.
Take an honest assessment of your life. Like if you know that, like you just said, if they're stuck, right?
Yeah.
There's a reason you're stuck. Why are you stuck? And be serious. Oh, George is outside. Be serious as to why you're stuck. Like don't beat around the bush. Like be honest, and then make that decision. Like there's one of two things that are gonna happen. It's either gonna stay the same or it's gonna change. And those are really it's really black and white. So at some point, like maybe this isn't good advice, but like if you want change, you're gonna have to change.
Yeah.
And just own the fact that it's gonna suck.
I mean,
like if you literally go like, okay, this isn't working. It needs to change. Change sucks. This is gonna suck. And just if you make that switch in your mind, like, okay, this is gonna suck, then just do it.
Yeah.
It's like there's no false expectation that it's gonna be it's gonna be easy at that point. It's like, okay, sometimes I just have to grit my teeth, and on the other side of this, it'll feel better.
Yeah.
But right now, it's not gonna feel better before it gets worse.
So the honest assessment.
And honest, you just got to be honest with yourself. And I don't think enough people are honest with themselves.
Yeah.
So
I love that, dude. I'm stoked to keep being here on the flip side of your journey and just watching it, and can't wait till you can be my sugar daddy. So
yeah, of course, dude.
There's that. But for real, in all honesty, I'm proud of you, man.
Thanks, man.
If you're listening and you are stuck, just like Jordan said, like just take that honest assessment. And it's hard. That's going to be one of the hardest things you can do, is to be able to like look at yourself as a man specifically and be like, dang, I suck at this right now.
Yeah.
Or these circumstances suck right now, and I'm the reason.
Yeah.
And you might not even be the reason, but if you're going to take accountability and ownership, you are the reason, right?
Yeah. You that's the thing, is when you do this honest assessment, you need to find, no matter who else was involved, what else has happened to you, you need to go to the one spot where you could have done something different.
Yeah.
You. Because the only person that's keeping you there, unless someone's holding a gun to your head, is you. And even then, there is a solution. You know, you can either fight or you can get shot. And it's like, let's just do it.
And on that note,
remember, I don't know. I'm just crazy. So, anyway, thank you guys for listening.
Before we wrap up, a couple cool changes. We're going to be moving our studio in the next couple weeks. So if there's some disruptions or differences, that's going to be it. We're expanding the space out, and we're going to get ready to start actually, dreaming. We've been dreaming of this space for a while, and now we actually have it. And we're so moving the studio. We're going to have an area where we can do some like coaching or some mastermind classes. We're really looking forward to it, man. We've been talking about it for a while, so lots of fun stuff, but that's it.
And as always, remember, be a good dude, be a good dad.